question and answer about family support. For format, paragraph 1 is the introduction, paragraph 2 is for evidence 1, paragraph 3 is for evidence 2, paragraph 4 is for evidence 3, and paragraph 5 is for conclusion. For reminder, please write 3 evidence or reasons or events in the novel. Use past tense. Make sure you check whether you can write 1 character or more than 1 characters. For the introduction, make sure you write the title, author, and a brief summary of the novel. And for contents, there should be 3 evidence or reasons. And in the conclusion, please write the summary of the answer. The question is, family support is important. We can talk about Richard Knight and his family members, Pa, Angie, and Gus. The first one is Angie. Their mother died when she was 9 and he was 7, and he helped her with the house chores. About Angie, Gus, and Pa, they did not care about his interest in writing poems. And for Pa, he did not support Richard's writing poetry. Later, he realized Richard's passion and he suggested ideas for his poems. For the introduction, the novel I studied is Dear Mr Kilmer by Anne Schraff. The novel is about a farm boy, Richard Knight, who lived in Turtle Lake, Iowa. He was 15 years old and had an elder sister, Angie, and brother, Gus. The story evolved around Richard, who loved to write poetry, and his relationship with his family, Hannah Schirmer, his classmate, and Mr Joyce Kilmer, a famous poet who joined the army during World War I. Content 1. Family support is a theme which is prevalent in the novel, as there are some evidence that showed this theme. First, Richard showed that he supported his elder sister Angie, who had to take over their mother's duties when their mother died when Richard was 7 years old. After that, Angie did all the house chores and also helped with farm work. Richard appreciated his sister's sacrifice by helping his sister in the kitchen after supper doing the house chores. Richard also showed his support for his father, as when he got home from school, he did his chores, gathered the eggs, and pitched hay for the horses on the farm. During summer, he spent his days on the farm plowing, planting, and cultivating. He also took care of the animals. He loved working on the farm with his father. Content 2. Richard Knight had a secret. Nobody knew that he wrote poetry, including his family, teachers, and schoolmates. One day, Richard learnt about Mr Kilmer when Richard's English teacher, Mrs Hanson, read a poem to the class. The title of the poem was Trees by Joyce Kilmer. Mr Kilmer was a famous poet. He enlisted in the army. He wrote a letter to Mr Kilmer. In his letter, Richard told Mr Kilmer that he wrote poems too. Richard asked for Mr Kilmer's advice. He wanted to know whether he should tell his secret to everybody. A few days later, Richard received a letter from Mr Kilmer. Mr Kilmer advised Richard to overcome his fear. Mr Kilmer advised Richard to share his poetry with people around him. However, nobody was interested when Richard told his family about Mr Kilmer's letter and his secret. Gus did not believe that Mr Kilmer was famous. Pa did not believe that Richard wrote poetry. Richard asked whether his family members wanted to read his poems. Nobody was interested. Richard was sad. It is clearly seen in this event that when family members do not support each other, we will feel sad and discouraged. One day, Richard received bad news about Mr Kilmer. Mr Kilmer was killed in the war between the Allies and the Germans. Richard wrote a poem as a tribute to Mr Kilmer. In the poem, Richard likened Mr Kilmer to the world. The tribute was printed in the local newspaper, the Turtle Lake Weekly. Richard's father read the poem. Richard was afraid that his father was going to be angry with him. His father did not like Richard writing poems. After reading the poem, his father told Richard about what happened to Richard's uncle, Roland. His father never told Richard about this story. Roland was killed in a war in Cuba. His father regarded Roland as his world. His father was amazed how Richard could use the same word in his tribute. Richard continued writing poems about farm lives for the local newspaper. Richard got his father's help as he was an experienced farmer. Every night Richard read his poems aloud. His father would correct or give suggestions to improve the poems. His father finally supported Richard's passion in writing poetry. Conclusion. You can write, in conclusion, the bond in a family strengthened when families supported each other. Thank you. That is the answer for the question. Bye.